Well, joining us now is Stephanie Kusie. She is the Conservative MP for the riding of Calgary-Midnapore. She's also a member of the Standing Committee on Government Operations and Estimates. Ms. Kusie, nice to see you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me, Michael.
Now, the government did have higher revenues than expected. I'm wondering, from your point of view, are they using that extra revenue well?
Well, what is apparent to me, Michael, is that this government has not learned that you can't spend your way out of an inflationary crisis, and they need to learn this. I mean, we see a $36.4 billion deficit in fiscal year 22-23. We see $6.1 billion of new spending. And this is at a time where Canadians are struggling to buy groceries, they're struggling to put gas in the tank, and they need immediate relief now. So you can't spend your way out of an inflationary crisis, and this government hasn't learned that as of yet.
So that extra money, what would have that been used for under a Conservative government? How would you like to have seen that money used?
Well, under a Conservative government, our leader has pledged that there will be no new taxes. We want to continue to reduce the deficit even further and fundamentally work towards eliminating our debt. I'm sure you know as well that $34.7 billion will be servicing debt in the fiscal year 22-23. So that's really our objective, is to balance the books and to get this country back on track. And as I said, under a Conservative government, you'll see no new taxes. And for every dollar of new spending, you will see a dollar of savings.
Well, to hear it from the Liberal government, they are right now doing targeted supports, in particular to help lower-income Canadians, lower-income households, students right now. What's wrong with that type of policy initiative?
Yeah, I think there are three things that are wrong here, Michael. The first thing is that it's too little, too late. Secondly, a lot of these programs seem as though they're building upon programs which have not been successful for this government, such as the first-time home benefit, for example. So it seems as though they're building on programs which were showed to not have great take-up from Canadians. And my third concern with this budget is that it's a lot of consultation. I think the concept potentially of lowering credit card fees for small and medium-sized businesses is excellent, but this government just says they're starting in the consultation phase. And with this government, Michael, we've seen a lot of consultation and not a lot of action. So if I had to outline three problems, those would be them.
Mm-hmm. Now, part of this budget as well is meant to address a bit of the environmental challenge, the economic challenge being presented by the Biden administration in the United States. As you know, that they have adopted this Inflation Reduction Act, which makes a whole bunch of green investments, almost to the tune of $400 billion. Given that that creates a bit of an uneven playing field for Canadian companies, do you think the government is doing enough to address that challenge? Is it important to address that challenge?
Well, I would say that I was very relieved today to not see a windfall tax included within the statement. I know that as late as yesterday, even the Green Party had a question on this, and so I was getting nervous that this would be part of the package, but it does not appear to be so. And secondly, I think when we look at the reasons, or even the reason I would say that Canada is in a better economic position, that it is not even more dire, it's largely a result of our natural resources sector. And so I certainly think it's always important to look for new types of energy, to move along the energy continuum, if you will. But I also think we have to appreciate what we have right now and what the world needs, and that's natural resources. And so I think that certainly, while we can continue to look at new types of energy, we can't forget about the natural resources sector and what that has done for our nation.
Mm-hmm. Now, the minister did not use the word recession, but I am asking just about everybody I speak today, are we headed towards that? Do you think that we are going to be this time next year in the midst of a recession?
Well, unfortunately, Michael, the majority of Canadians believe so. In fact, 30% of Canadians believe that we are currently in a recession, and 53% of Canadians believe that we will be in a recession next year. So I certainly can understand the government's desire to not frighten Canadians, to sort of want to quell the concerns that are out there. But unfortunately, Michael, everything indicates a recession coming our way.
Stephanie Kusie, really appreciate the time. Thank you for this.
Thank you for having me, Michael. Have a great day.
You too. Take care.